wonder what this thing is they have in there. So they got this as just a little inexpensive toy thing, and it's like I don't know if you ever had those shake up thing, those shake little things like make it snow and stuff. Anyway, that was just the weirdest little thing in there. Oh my goodness. Mockingbird, yeah, yeah, yeah. Mockingbird, Mockingbird. I don't know the words of this song. And the only reason I really know that song is because they used it in Dumb and Dumber. And now after all this time, it's like, oh my goodness. Mockingbird, yeah, 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 yeah. Brian Favero. Brian Favero, we were talking about you at the American Legion meeting, or I wasn't. They were. I was like Brian Favero. And I didn't bring this book with me. I like to show and tell. Just trying to get the little military community into the history thing. I'll try and get them to write their own histories. Chuck Tompkins, the CEO for Western Agency Inc., has been in the trenches as an independent insurance agent for over 30 years. This book is not just about how he created and grew his agency from scratch to the powerhouse it is today. It is also the story of a person learning how to bootstrap a business. In it, Tompkins tells the many mistakes that he made as well as his secrets of success. The Insurance Wars is a very unique book. It's a must-read for anyone in business for themselves. Well, I was kind of lost at graduation. My plans were so like set ahead of time that I knew exactly what I was going to do after graduation and what employment I was going to have. And then things changed, and I had to find my own way. In time there was multi-level marketing was making. It wasn't just for Mary Kay Cosmetics and Tupperware anymore. So prepaid legal. Stand up here. Very odd weather we're having. It should be by all right. It should be in the 90s. Before shouting climate change, it's like some people should live in a place and know it's normal climate. I come to think of about 2 years ago, or maybe this last year. Well, I moved to a place as you leave problems in one place, find that a new place has different problems. So it's fire season. And it was approaching 4th of July, and a lot of places canceled their 4th of July parties. Basically 2 reasons. Well, the number one reason was fire hazards. shooting up all these things around dried out trees and fields and stuff. So they canceled for that reason. And the money thing is also it's nice to have a free party. I just don't know how I feel about 4th of July. I know how I feel about it. It was wonderful to go out and watch. It was exciting. And at the time, it was a very big family-friendly event. Now I don't have any family. It's just like any kind of get-together is, oh, there's a big thing going on. We can, oh, look at all the families. Needless to say, I don't remember his last 4th of July or the 4th of July before. People were getting a little antsy. And then we had a rain. Rain on like the 3rd or 4th. That really calmed a lot of things down because then all the grass and everything was wet. What I've noticed is since that time, the trees around my house have just gotten bigger. It's like that's an interesting thing if we pay attention how fast things can grow. They cut down a tree to make way to like expand the site, to expand the driveway to accommodate more cars or move it over. So anyway, there's a tree. There's a little lot. There's a little 15 by 15, 20 by 20. I don't know how big it was, but a tree. It wasn't a big tree. Like 15 feet tall, and it was round. And they cut it down. It's like, oh, that's a shame. Well, now I went out there and I was stunned because I have like little sproutlings about this big, like 12-inch little sproutlings. I assume they're like baby trees, and I just didn't even notice them. They just appeared. And I paid attention to the bigger trees. We had a windstorm where I live a few months ago. Knocked out power. Power got knocked out. I went out and that night investigating the big old tree, like in this area that's in backyards, had fallen over and taken out power lines. And I was so enthralled with that, I didn't even notice. Like the next day, I was sitting out and I looked over. My neighbor had a tree fall against his house. I didn't get any pictures. Oh, that would have been so wonderful to get pictures of that tree falling against my neighbor's house. Not for him. I mean, I'm not taking joy in somebody's property damage, but it's just the anti-cutting trees down. I don't know. All I know is that we got spared a few times in my neighborhood of fire season, and now these trees are just bigger. They're bigger, and they're like branches and stuff are like going and touching houses, and I guess the roots are if you have pipes underneath your house. It's interesting. So what I was doing, what did I title this thing when you ever say, oh, you see Marvel and I'm already got paper. Oh yes, that's right, Detective Comics. Detective Comics versus a Marvel. I had a conversation last night in a little shop where people who would be in the movies and stuff gather and play other games. I think Marvel, for most of Marvel's existence, has been depending on movie theater box offices. See, I don't know how many people are subscribed to Disney so that they can watch new Marvel products. That was a big thing. Well, Disney and ESPN. We're gonna leave ESPN out of the comic book scene for right now. There are a lot of comic book guys who just, I don't know, just something about those professional, the football team in school. Just making notes in the newspaper. Well, maybe one of those trees that fell down got turned into a newspaper. I don't know. These back sections here. I've got notice of a couple of guys changing their names. A contract. A $5 million sewage improvement project. The bidding is going to be in middle of August. It's a lot of writing here. My favorite one is if you win the bid, you will be required to furnish additional bonds. That means when you win, when the city council says congratulations, you win this this estimated $5 million project. Remember, the bidding is who can do it for less than $5 million, unless it's just $5 million. But you'll be required to furnish additional bonds. That means you go and take loans out on yourself, and then give them to the city to give back to you. I don't know. It's all very interesting. I looked it up. There's less than 700 people. This town is inviting bidders to come work on their surface water treatment. Oh, let me see bids. Water system improvements. They already have. It says proposed improvements to existing surface water treatment plant. Oh, they have existing plant, so you're gonna make upgrades to it, including addition 400 GPM absorption clarifier AC filter units. Oh, I guess they already have them on site, so they've already purchased them, right? A new 40 by 50 steel moment frame filter building. A new emergency generator, new filter backwash pumping system, site grader, conversion of reservoir number 1 to backwash ponds, new electrical and control systems, other ancillary civil and mechanical improvements. They're going to have a walkthrough in July. Too bad I don't have a car. Go walk around and check this thing out. Anyway, I'm not in that field. It's a city of 700 people. I guess I was trying to do the math real quick. So if it's $5 million loan, city bond divided by 700. So take off 2 zeros. Is that like only 50,000? Is that only 50,000 per person for their new surface thing? Fed poised to keep interest rates steady. So, what I learned from this article in a regular traditional newspaper is when Israel attacked Iran, spot oil prices went up nearly 9%. Now I don't know if they came back down. Yes. Israel attacked on Iran, and is it reliable? Did they know that it would send oil prices up? Price oil figures. Oh, U.S. inflation. Okay, they're talking inflation and stuff in the 70s. The oil shocks of the 1970s. Big swings in commodity prices. Why would that be? Well, if oil prices go up, gasoline should go up, and then it costs more to deliver food, so the truck drivers have to charge more in order to afford more gas. So basically anything that requires like a vehicle to get it to the market would go up. Oil goes up. Cost of operating machines go up. Okay. And then it has something here. Russia's invasion of Ukraine did in early 2022 when it prompted the U.S. Central Bank to start cycling interest rates with a 0.25% increase. I don't really get the connection of Russia's invasion of Ukraine and whatever this is talking about. Fed Chair Jerome Powell know the role that inertia could play. See, I don't even know. I'm still remembering Alan Greenspan. Jerome. I made a note. Colin. Oh yeah, Colin Powell. That's a famous Powell. I don't know many Powells. Whenever I hear the last name Powell, I'm like, oh, Colin. Or it could be Lonnie. Well, relatives. You see, if you can't get a hold of the person, you can call like, hey man, your brother, your brother. Can you tell your brother to call me? I lost his number, dude. What does quote say? The outlook is so unclear that quote. The outlook is so unclear. You just say, maybe I'll stay where I am. A sentiment that may last as long as the tariff debate remains unresolved. Ah, yes, the desire to move to someplace more affordable, more peaceful. Just will find that place. Do you like your picture on? I don't know if you have your windows set up to have a different pretty picture every time you sign in. Scenes of far away, tranquil. I'm looking at a beach right now. So tranquil. Then we go down here. Oh, they have some advice from somebody named Gregory Draco. Isn't Mallory? Isn't Slytherin have somebody like the Daco with the Daco? Gregory Daco, chief economist at. And I had to circle this because when they started, is this company supposed to be prestigious? I Parthenon. And when they said I Parthenon, they had capital EY dash, and then it's like, okay, I've never even heard of this thing before. So I don't know why I would listen to advice from somebody from a startup. Maybe they've been around a long time. Just the way they. Daco said he anticipates the median rate project among the Fed's 19 policymakers. See, that's interesting. So they have 19 policy makers. Well, if you can't get along, when your credit cards either go up or down, or you just get denied a mortgage, these are people you want to talk to. Or if you can't afford a mortgage. See, they had blah blah blah. There were 2 rate cuts in 2025. So their rate cuts, the money they loan stuff at, they're supposed to cut it. So it would be cheaper to borrow. And we have something here. Inflation has personal consumption expenditures price index. How many other indexes do they have? Well, recent data show they're talking about inflation. Try and keep it around 2%. Isn't that their lending rate? Isn't inflation seem to be the Fed's lending rate? Because they're talking over here someplace. Oh yeah, it said that the Fed would. Okay, it's only saying 2%. Wait, yeah, because there was some things where the Fed was lending at like 0.1% or interest rates. The Fed's policy rate was set in the current 4.25 to 4.5% range. Now those ranges, well, those are interest rates in Treasury bonds. See, a lot of investors, conservative investors, will buy 10 and 30-year bonds, kind of like the bonds that the little city, south of me wants to take out for their water plant. I suppose it'll be a 30-year bond, $5 million at, let's say, 4.25% interest. So after 30 years, there's a calculator. So every citizen of that, every resident of that city, if each of them are to have $50,000 taken out in their name, and have a 4% annual accrual fee of interest. After 30 years, if they don't pay it off, how much will they owe? So one of the things about the Marvelverse is the amount of things that they break. Buildings. The only one which is one, Age of Ultron. See, I went one day. I took time because I've only watched. I was trying to do a list. Official or unofficial, like between 27 and 30 something movies in the Marvelverse in order to watch and have like a timeline because it's like a huge soap opera. It's like the Marvel soap opera and stuff. And so I decided to watch one of the Age of Ultrons. I saw Iron Man. And one of the interesting things about Iron Man is that it took place in modern times. Well, a lot of them take place in modern times, but it had current things because he was riding in a Humvee in Iraq. Was it Iraq? I assume it was Iraq, maybe Afghanistan. Watch the opening of Iron Man again. Iron Man was made in, what year was it? Just type in Iron Man release date. Okay, 2008. I didn't know it was that. I thought it was older than that. 2008 American. Yeah. Iron Man was released in the United States on May 2nd, 2008, after premiering in Sydney on April 14th, 2008. Let's see. I didn't really think of Netflix streaming. I didn't have Netflix in 2008. Didn't know what it was. I'd heard of it. It was like a mail order DVD. It was like mail order rentals. You go and they'd send you the DVDs. Well, I was still going when I did rent DVDs. I would go to the DVD rental place, and it's just weird to see these things that weren't necessarily childhood mainstays, but for somebody like the Blockbuster and the Hollywood Videos. We had a little independent place that my dad insisted on trying to support. He's just big into independent local people. They had better deals off than the Blockbuster because it was pricey. So you go into the movie rental place. Before that, it was VHS. That's the thing. It wasn't DVD rentals. It was VHS cassettes. Not only would we rent the movie, we'd also rent the VHS player. So 2008, yeah, a lot of people going to those movies. So yeah, the beginning of it, it's like he's a big defense contractor in the army. They're so excited to meet him. You know, they're so excited to meet him. He's like, yeah, he's driving in, and then they get ambushed, and he gets kidnapped, and the rest is the rest. He builds himself an iron suit to escape from the terrorists. He's a really good engineer, and he has that thing where he sees that all his money came from building bombs to blow people up with. You think about that action scene at the beginning. Well, that's expensive. Well, how much is it? How much does a Humvee cost? So they gotta use a Humvee in the movie. The other ones, oh yes. So to catch up, because they have like super teams. I heard, someplace, was it even in here? They did, no, it came up on, I was trying to search for one of these companies. Oh yes, SGH Macro Advisors. They're also quoted in here, like giving advice. So I looked them up, and they didn't pop up at something called Supergroup Investments. I'm like, oh my goodness. All right, those 19 are part of the Supergroup. So the Marvelverse, it's all about, Age of Ultron, they lift a city. I guess the city goes flying. Like it lifts out of the ground, like full scale city, and like people falling, maybe like at the end it just like falls to the earth. And I'm just imagining whoa. Not that the rebooted Superman was any better. I remember it wasn't the best quality because it was a bootleg version. But yeah, it's just like I don't know how long Superman is fighting that dude, that Zord general or something. All you know is just whoa, look at they're flying around, they smash and go right through buildings, and buildings topple over. I mean, these two dudes are fighting and they destroy an entire city. I'm sure there are people like whoa, but now these people are driving up the cost of living out here where I'm at. It's like they're just trying to get away from their superheroes. It's like we're OD'd on superheroes. Wasn't that the premise of The Watchmen? Like in The Watchmen, there was a time when people, well, maybe the kids don't believe in superheroes anymore, but but the superheroes were being like, oh my goodness, washed up, broke, bitter old men and things. So I picked this up for $10 at a thrift shop. I saw it sitting there, and whoa, it's an encyclopedia, DC Comics encyclopedia. Look how many pages that is. It's like lore. See, they go back. I don't even know when the first DC comic was released. And over the years, let's see, we have a Star Sapphire. Have you ever heard of Star Sapphire? Well, there's this big thing like introducing new characters and things in the Marvel verse, because that's usually what they talk about. They'll talk about James Gunn, like his Batman thing. I guess they had a Batman that's supposed to be really a big movie, but they say it was too long, disjointed. There's the director's version he released later. It's 4 hours long. I've never seen it. I've never seen that version of Batman. I think he had Ben Affleck. Is that the one Ben Affleck is Batman? We'll go back to Star Sapphire here in a second. Ben Affleck, Batman Ben Affleck, okay. Ben Affleck portrayed Batman in several films within DC Extended Universe, including Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, Suicide Squad, these are both 2016, Justice League 2017, and Zack Snyder's Justice League 2021. His final appearance as Batman is in The Flash 2023. I had no idea these movies, other than Suicide Squad. Like, I remember when seeing Batman versus Superman advertisements, I thought that was just, and I wasn't going to go see it. I don't know if I would have, well, if it was Batman or Superman, it was Batman and Superman. Oh, wow. Kind of reminds me when they started having, like, Predator versus Alien. Guess what? They put two amazing things. It might have gotten some new fans. I don't know. It's just. So I wonder what the Zack Snyder's. Let me see. Zack Snyder's Batman. Sometimes you hear people's names more than you actually like. Is that with the K or H? It's with the K. Zack Snyder. Oops. Maybe it's a Justice League. Is that the thing that they're talking about? Zack Snyder's Justice League is a 2020 director's cut of a 2017 American superhero film Justice League. The fifth film set within the it must be Justice League. Because I came across when I first got a job where I could sit in an office. I had that type of stuff before. Let's see, I was out of the loop from when did I stop paying attention to comic book movies? A long time ago. It wasn't until like really the COVID lockdown. I think it was really when COVID lockdown began that more attention was paid to the YouTube critics. And such good advice also. So Star Sapphire. Star Sapphire debuted in Green Lantern Volume 2, number 16, October 1962. Oh, she's been around since 1962? Current version, Green Lantern Volume 5, number 7, May 2012. Somewhere out there are these... I don't really hear many people talking about the Green Lantern. Real name, Carol Ferris. Carol Ferris? Ferris. Coast City, California. Well, your base is Coast City, California. Height 5'7", weight 125 pounds. Eyes blue. Hair black. Powers, abilities, indomitable will and all-consuming love. Capable of utilizing a violet gem or ring that affords flight, protection, energy projection, and solid light construct creation. Allies, Kyle Rayner, Hal Jordan, Hawkman, Hawkgirl. Enemies, Sinestro, Larfleeze, Predator, Queen Shrike, Krona, Atrocitus, First Lantern, Third Army, Relic, Oblivion. Affiliations, Star Sapphire Corps, Zamarons, Ferris Aircraft, New Guardians. BOL Star Sapphire. Well, I mean, Ferris Aircraft, these are companies. If we can find out, these are real companies. Media is all propaganda by warmongers. It's like the Batman dilemma. It's like the Batman dilemma in The Dark Knight. Well, it wasn't. Yeah, it was the episode. It was Heath Ledger. It was Heath Ledger's, the one with him as the Joker. There was another character in there too, Harvey Dent, Two-Face. One of the things that, because it's vigilante justice, a lot of people are not fans in Gotham Cities are not fans of the Batman. They think it's crazy because it's like he's a vigilante. Nobody really knows who he is. So I forget what it is, but Batman has to be the bad guy. Well, when Batman's not in uniform, we as audience members understand that he's Bruce Wayne. The people in Gotham City don't know that the Batman, vigilante crime fighter, is a philanthropist billionaire using his own free time to go fight crime. Remember, his origin story is his parents were killed in front of him. He was raised as a traumatized orphan, a billionaire orphan. I assume he's very disconnected from the average everyday Joe in society. You gotta get the mental framework of these fiends down. What if Batman? What if Bruce Wayne? Well, I can tell when I'm just not comfortable with where I was going. My voice pitch changes. I'm like, is this supposed to be serious or fun? I get stressed out. Sometimes people's fun makes other people's lives not fun. And you chase Batman away, but without Batman around to, well, preemptively beat up the bullies. So I got that thing. It's cool. I got my younger brother. He's he's saving up money so we can have a real vacation. By real vacation means we can go do stuff and spend money. Hmm. Interesting. So current version, Flashpoint Volume 2, number 5, October 2021. Oh no. It looks like I'm frozen on the screen I'm looking at. Okay. I saw it buffering on the YouTube Studio thing and don't know how much content was lost. It's very interesting. So they have Batman's height is 6'2", weight 210 pounds, eyes blue, hair black. Martial arts expert, skilled acrobat, gymnast, and athlete, escape artist, highly intelligent, with advanced knowledge of technologies, natural leader, master strategist. Weapons include utility belt and armored suit. Owns customized land, air, and water vehicles. Allies: Batman family, Alfred Pennyworth, James Gordon, Superman. Enemies: Arkham Asylum inmates, Blackgate Penitentiary inmates, Ra's al Ghul. Affiliations: Justice League, Justice League of America, Justice League International, Batman Incorporated. Let's see. Ra's al Ghul. Ooh, Red Lantern. Oh, Red Lantern had a debut in Green Lantern Volume 4, number 25, January 2008. Oh, very, very young addition to the DC verse. Ra's al Ghul. I'm looking for the Ra's. The Ra's al Ghul. This green dude right there. Batman Volume 1, number 232, June 1971. Current version, Batman Incorporated Volume 2, number 2. I have such a cluttered desk. For this one, I think I want to share a screen if I can. Found a website the other day where it popped up in a search, Comics Archaeology. I was almost up at a hotel today. Should be there should be floating in a swimming pool. However, that's just not how things worked out. Why isn't this? Okay. There we go. History, Colorado. Somebody was showing me was really big on what? So yesterday someone was showing me they were promoting, I appreciate it, Dayton, Ohio. There's like 8 comic book shops or something in Dayton, Ohio, and Woman was really pumping her friend's Dayton, Ohio comic book shop. I was like, thank you, thank you. So this is just today's article, or yesterday's. Eternals, number 8. This is nice for learning random history. Oh. Here I am with my DC encyclopedia, and they choose to have a Marvel comics books. So this was 30 cents. It's 30 cents in February 1977. When gods walked the earth, the Eternals, war in the city of toads. These are just fun, right? What would you do? Would you if you had 30 cents and you were how old would you be? What gender would you be? I'm finding out they want everybody to buy the same things, and some people just don't. Let me see here. Type in Batman. We'll see what they have. Batman meets the Legion of Superheroes. Written by Lee Allred and Mike Allred. Written pencils and cover by Mark Allred. I don't know. They're being. It seems weird the way they wrote it, but that might be the way it be. These are pencil names. Okay, it's not loading the pictures. I might have had that was August 3rd last year. Perhaps they were forced to pull a few things. Oh, there's a cover art. Okay. The cover panel's taken from the main story. Notice the and Co. beneath the title. This featured more than just Batman. Where's and Co. Huh. This was a weird format for a comic book. Smaller than standard, but not pocket size. Oh, so it was a smaller than standards. People are. This is what I like about the detective comics. They're even detectiving the comics. Is this an official release from the DC? That says EC up there. Okay. There's a lot of different things. The brave and the bold. Let's go back to Ra's al Ghul. Base Ath al-Thiban. Height 6 feet 5 inches. Weight 215 pounds. Eyes green. Hair black with white streaks. Powers, abilities, expert swordsman and martial artist. Extremely long-lived thanks to his access to the age-retarding Lazarus pits. Genius level intellect with a keen strategic skills. Possesses an army of loyal assassins and many connections in nearly every nation on the globe. Allies, Talia al Ghul. Enemies, Batman, the Batman family. Birds of Prey, the League of Assassins. I heard a lot of people criticizing the Birds of Prey. Well, then again, I hear a lot of people criticizing a lot of things, and I myself criticize many things. It's just an opinion, man. It's like when people start getting punched over opinions, let's stop having opinions. You know, when you see people, like, when it comes to that, when it comes to, like, not just a fight over which of these characters is going to be, Andrew Bennett, debut House of Mystery, Volume 1, number 290, March 1981. Current version, I, Vampire, number 1, November 2011. What strange storylines some people choose to have. I never even heard of this character. Is he good guy, bad guy? It says Elizabeth in England, young Andrew Bennett was attacked by Cain, the first of the vampires. Cain's bite passed the curse of vampirism to Bennett, and he awoke with an unholy thirst for blood. Bennett turned his lover, Mary, into a vampire too, but she came under demonic influence, became obsessed with taking over the world. Taking the title of the Blood-Red Queen, Mary founded a very vicious vampire cult called the Blood-Red Moon, and led them on a holy war against mankind. However, Andrew refused to give up his humanity by feeding on people and was determined to stop Mary and her followers. When she attacked Gotham City, Andrew teamed up with Batman, Professor John Troughton, and Teen Tearaway Tig to take on the Horde. Tig killed Andrew, hoping to destroy Mary's vampires by eliminating her sire, but that caused Cain to rise again. After being resurrected by Madame Xanadu, Bennett slew Cain and continued his war against Mary and her followers, ultimately absorbing their evil into himself to save them. Have you been to a comic book shop? So we're talking generational divides here. And half the time, it's like I see people taking children into a place and they've never been, they just so excited to be someplace. It's really interesting. It's really interesting how the virus lockdowns and the other things, generations that didn't interact. And with the digital media, when everything's on here, even like my brother started watching movies on his phone a long time ago. To him, it was just completely normal. It's like, what you doing? I'm watching a movie. How can you like watch a movie that way? It's just normal. And now the movies but of course you can't, when there's so much to watch. Yeah, it was so funny. I've been using this podcast thing, but so people are podcasting or listening to podcasts, I should say. Well, the audience, it's really interesting. I was looking at the live streams. Like I have it's probably one of the more popular hosting for audio shows. We were talking about lore. There's a show of, where were we talking? Oh, it was over the comic books. It's not a comic book store. They don't have comic books. They have cards and other things. And then again, the sales techniques. Well, I blame the new salespeople. The new salespeople who really don't care about the product, but it's a job. You know, somebody says go sell these comic books, you're gonna go sell those comic books. You're gonna buy this comic book. You know what I mean? You know, if you see some like, well, over here it talks about 4% unemployment, 4.2% unemployment. Well, that means at least according to my dad, that's only counting people who are on unemployment. This official state thing, because if you stop looking, they just don't count you as unemployed. If you're not going into the unemployment department saying, "Hey, I'm unemployed," they just stop counting you. So like all the people and, well, I got some. We have more. How can I put it? When I was a kid, I delivered newspapers. Oh, I saw a commercial for a kid throwing newspaper. Something that really most communities don't have. I don't know if the newspaper company out here delivers. They say the prince of dying media. Somewhat it is. It's like the love affair with the trees. If I can see the tree, I love the tree. But if I can't see a tree, man, I can't believe they cut down I can't believe they cut down my favorite tree. Or what's that news? This is a big part. This right here. Let me see do we have a pattern? Peter Parker is what's Spider-Man? What universe is Spider-Man in? Okay, he is Marvel. Well, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, he has that. He's a reporter, isn't he? And he gets exclusive pictures of Spider-Man. I think that was one of the tropes. Is that Peter is like the only one who's friends with the Spider-Man, and I don't know who his newspaper editor is. Interesting to look up. However, Commissioner Gordon is definitely Batman. They do have press. I'm pretty sure they'd have somebody in the press. Well, Clark Kent, he's a reporter who's like got pictures of Superman. Oh yeah, and Jimmy Olsen. I think that's what makes Detective Comics more. Well, a lot of us are slowing down. So even people who really liked the Marvelverse, just it was so exciting. They might not be physically able to maintain that level of Marvels, and might be more interested in. If you're not flying around on a private jet, you really don't need that much money, right? So that's why the Marvelverse is just like, we gotta fly around the world. No, you don't. Well, okay, yeah, pay it out of your pocket. The rest of us super people are going to be doing what we can do. Potential long-term chill. Thornburg doesn't expect Trump to deport every undocumented worker in the country, and views the crackdown in California as, quote, more of a blown-up spectacle, unquote, that, quote, may get tied up in the courts, unquote. Thus, Batman's problem with law enforcement. We really do appreciate him most of the time. But sometimes, things just go too far, Batman. Yeah. It's the irony. It's the irony of Wayne Industries that we've gotten to the point where the CEOs are beating up disgruntled customers. It's like the CEO is just out there. He can be on performance enhancing like uppers and things, but some of his low paid workers who can't compete with Bruce Wayne for a date. Could you imagine like freaking your girlfriend, like your Bruce Wayne takes a liking to your girlfriend? You're playing out your boss at work and stuff, and Batman is like, oh, you don't deserve her. I mean, that's why it's like the Arkham Asylum. How many people is that billionaire thrown in freaking prison for being poor and angry? They're just poor and angry, Batman. Yeah, I'm not even bother putting on lo-fi or copyright or public domain beats. So you can entertain by looking and studying my wall. It's like, I think there's a picture, I think Sherlock Holmes, the Arthur Conan Doyle or something. I think his office is a museum and everything's just left untouched. Where he went to, I don't know. All I know is that friggin' this rent situation. I'm feeling good today. The hard liquor I've managed to avoid in favor of just some wine. Oh, I figure wine's better for whining. Hard liquor's better for sulking. And for a quick book review, I have purchased so many of these. They're like almost all $3 in my local Dollar General. It's also like serves as my grocery store. Why aren't you eating? You're about like organic health. Why aren't you at the Whole Foods, man? Why aren't you at Whole Foods? How do you solve a problem like Mariana? This year's Advent retreat. Oh my goodness, I completely forgot. I know a Mariana. Last I saw Mariana down in, well, World Travelers. Or at least, like, this year's Advent retreat has been booked for the Congregation of the Sisters of St. Hermione of Ephesus at the Pastoral Briar Coast Cabin Resorts in New York. Hey, Hermione? Like Emily Watson Hermione? But when the combative Sister Mariana practically loses her religion arguing over minor details with the resort co-owner Autumn Tassler, Sister Louise Lou LaSalle blessedly steps in as peacemaker. Only days later, Autumn is found strangled in her office, and a hot-headed Sister Mariana becomes a sheriff's deputy's prime suspect. They believe her missing scarf may be the murder weapon. But Sister Lou believes Sister Mariana's being framed. If she has a prayer of keeping Sister Mariana out of prison, she'll need it to once again put her faith in her nephew, Chris LaSalle, and reporter Sherry Henson to help her solve the case. As the trio tries to cross suspects off the list, Sister Lou has no choice but to stick her neck out if she's going to unveil who was desperate enough to resort to murder. Oh, what was it? Wait, there's a Twilight Zone, a black and white Twilight Zone. Is it possible that we've actually learned more in our school days watching movies and talking about movies than through just reading textbooks? It's helpful. And yet somebody wrote this. Nationally best-selling author Olivia Matthews. A woman yesterday was bringing up do you ever think that some of the women will use men names when writing books because men are so sexist? And I'm like, yeah, that would make sense. A lot of our detectives are, what's that perfume? Perfume? What are you talking about? I got perfume on me from? Oh, I don't know. No, that's impossible. Another woman's scent. That's what. I don't know if you watched the Tiger King. It was when Twitter trends would determine. Oh my goodness, if your product trended on Twitter back in the day. So Tiger King was something that Twitter was talking about quite a lot. And now it's like I don't have Twitter. You want to know something about Twitter? How many times I was suspended? Well, I just gave up. There was a thing where Elon's like, "Go ahead, call. We're very forgiving. We'll reactivate your account and stuff." And because I'm assuming he may have followed spicy accounts and saw his his online friends getting suspended and just wanted to know where they went. My last tweet was directed towards Lady Gaga, and not even in any kind of bad way. It wasn't really. I looked at it. My last tweet in the tweetverse is I tagged Lady Gaga. A Sister Lou mystery, Peril and Prayer. Oh, this must be a series. The Sister Lou series. To my dream team, my sister Bernadette for giving me the dream, my husband Michael for supporting the dream, my brother Richard for believing the dream, my brother Gideon for encouraging the dream. And to mom and dad, always with love. This series is also dedicated with respect and affection to the Congregation of Dominican Sisters of Peace for inspiring me with their great courage, strength, determination, and joy. Congregations of Dominican Sisters of Peace. Copyright 2018 Sister Patricia Sargent Matthews. Kensington Publishing Corp. Well, publishing business, let me tell you. Talk about money, like the movies are making money. Avoiding deadly habits. So have you read this? No, I have 2 other books over I put on Threads the other day. I had a vote. Like, okay, what should we read? If we were going to do book of the month. Oh, an idea. See, I asked almost every time I go in there, whoever the cashier is, because the book stands like they can see the book stand from the entrance, and so I'm like, excuse me, have you read any of these books? Could you? And the answer is no. But what if we promoted books, and we had our employees pick out a book and review it, and maybe they could start having employee recommendations. Would we pick up sales? We might sell 3 more of these things than we would have. But then the best thing about books and books lovers is when you find somebody who reads and then you can talk about a book together. Isn't that the best? To be able to talk about a book together. Have you read this? Oh, you wrote this. Oh. Why are you? Why aren't you in a mansion and things? I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe they're independently wealthy and can write all the time. There's a thing about lords, about the scientific. They say it's very elitist because only the aristocracy has the time on their hands to sit around and do things like read. They're not farming. So I just wanted to. This was sitting over my couch. I wanted to give it a quick. Why buy a book? Why read a book? Why buy a book that? Well, in my list of things to read, this is pretty low down there. Although, if it becomes like Song of Fire and Ice, see, this is the benefit of hanging out with intellectual people, because you can recommend things. Or when the trendsetters are. When you're hanging out with trendsetters and they're setting the trend, I don't know. I think that's the thing, because Game of Thrones, it's a huge, massive civil war. So the more you enjoy Game of Thrones, I assume the more you enjoy the Civil War stuff, because having differences of opinions in Game of Thrones. Now this little book we're going to review is the Wonder Book of the World's Progress. The Universe, the Earth. I wonder what kind of bookstore this would have been sold in. Do you think, well, the towns that I'm in now, I wonder what their bookstores were like when it was. So you can see the type in print. It's an older book, you can tell that. Or at least it's using that old fancy smancy. Oh, copyright 1935. By Funk Wagnalls Company. Well, as far as like reading the entirety or trying to monetize it, about 10 more years till it's in public domain. In the meantime, I can do excerpts and commentary. Content. So this is 1935. This is what like nerdy high school kids would have been. Oh wow, a book on the science, the new sun. 27. It says, an apothecary discovers the periodicity of sunspots. Dr. Hale discovers their magnetic influence. Nature of the sun's surface, the sun and the new atomic theory. Writing sunbeams. Writing sunbeams. Oh yeah, no. There used to be a theoretical design of spaceships, and they had huge, like they had sails on them, like old sailing ships. And apparently the sails, it's cosmic wind. Like this would be, they could ride cosmic wind. I assume cosmic wind is like the sunbeam, maybe. Dome of the. This is Mount Wilson Observatory. Dome of the 100-inch Hooker reflector. Hey, keep your eyes in the sky there, buddy. Keep your eyes in the sky. You don't ever not bend that. Don't. What you do? Looking at the town. You looking through the town's windows up there. Solar prominence. The solar prominence is 80,000 miles high. The new sun. Way back in the year 1857, the gold medal of the Royal Astronomical Society of England was awarded to a middle-aged apothecary of Dessau, Germany. The name of the recipient was Samuel Heinrich Schwabe. The work for which he was honored was the study of sunspots. It appeared that the apothecary had early developed a penchant for observing these blemishes on the face of our luminary, the discovery of which by the first users of telescopes 2 centuries earlier had so disturbed the equanimity of the Aristotelians of the period. Aristotle, it will be recalled, had conceived the sun as a perfect body, assuredly unmarked by blemishes of any type. His doctrine accorded with the ecclesiastical conception of the perfection of all heavenly bodies. Very interesting. So, without the aid of telescopes, because they didn't have telescopes, well, I suppose some people are so smart, so good at sitting around and thinking that that usually their thoughts are considered. Do we need to use the word infallible? Which is interesting, as the Aristotelian that I know, or that as I come to understand it, it was in the perfection of things. Aristotle's uncle Plato would seem more of a match for the perfection of the sun. Well, frogs. The metaphor I remember is the frogs. That Plato looked at all the frogs and how they were different, and imagined that there's one perfect frog, of which all frogs are modeled. A perfect frog in the heavenly designs of which all frogs are modeled. And Aristotle said that a frog is perfect just by being a frog. And I could be completely wrong in that. This is one of the last purchases I got at Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble's discount bins. Yes, it's not as discounted as my $2 used books. And still, the knowledge that this contains in it. But this is supposed to be about Marvel and DC, isn't it? Going way off subject. Cluttering up the room again. The superstars, the blockbusters. This is from like 1982. This is a little. This is like a gift store or giveaway set from the Academy Awards. for the Superman. See, back here, they didn't have a whole lot of superhero movies. Or at least those weren't what the big hits in the movie theaters were. The sci-fi genre. I think they have Star Wars in here someplace or a reference to it. Before Star Wars, apparently those types of movies were just lowbrow, cheesy entertainment that the rest of the community didn't take seriously. So what blockbuster does this book start out with? Oh, maybe it is Superman. Get to the first pages. Because they don't have an index, so you just kind of have to thumb through this. Oh, they call them... Oh, here's the contents. They divide these movies into the epics, film star vehicles, the most acclaimed, sleepers, classics, extravaganzas, money makers, big spenders, blockbusters. Oh, so even the movie, this one is called the movie Blockbusters. They divide them into 9 different types. Copyright 1983, Sanford Corporation. So the first film to fall under epics is Gone with the Wind. And I just don't really want to review Gone with the Wind right now. I don't know if I've seen it in its entirety. See, Gone with the Wind is 1939. So when I was a kid, this was already over 30 years old. You ever hear old people talking about what they remember, how awesome something was? Superman, 1978. I was 3 years old. I wonder when the first time I saw this, did we see it in the movies? See, sometimes movies were so popular, they would do re-releases like 2 years later, 3 years later. For people who didn't get to see it. Who's in the film? Jor-El is played by Marlon Brando. Lex Luthor is played by Gene Hackman. Superman, Clark Kent, Christopher Reeve. Lois Lane, Margot Kidder. Margot Kidder. Margot robbed me. Oh, Lois Lane. Otis is Ned Beatty. Perry White, Jackie Cooper. Pa Kent, Glenn Ford. Eve Teskmarker, Valerie Perrine. First Elder, Trevor Howard. General Zod, Terrence Stamp. Von Ah, Maria Schell. Ma Kent, Phyllis Thaxter. Laura, Susanna York. Young Clark Kent, Jeff East. Second Elder, Harry Andrews. Ursa, Sarah Douglas. Yeah, I'm thinking. I met a young lady over a year ago at a coffee shop, and she had a stack of Sarah Douglas novels. Oh, Sarah is spelled just a little differently. Jimmy Olsen is played by Mark McClure. Nunn, Jack O'Halloran. Story by Mario Puzo. Screenplay by Mario Puzo, David Newman, Leslie Newman, and Robert Benton. Superman created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. Director Richard Donner. Producer Pierre Spengler. Executive producer Ilya Salekind. How many of these names do you recognize? Like, even at my age, Marlon Brando was a big star. Gene Hackman, cowboy movies. Christopher Reeve. That's interesting because Christopher Reeve, I believe could have been he didn't become a huge movie star, huh? Christopher Reeve is basically known for being... Now, interesting about Christopher Reeve is one of the first personifications of Superman on the screen was a TV show. And it was played by George Reeves. And there's a whole lore mystery around George Reeves. I think they called it the Superman curse. The facts. Superman was the seventh highest grossing film ever released, netting $82,500,000. Okay, let me flip over back to this Gone with the Wind. It's nice that there's always a new highest. There's a new best. New, like, most ever. There's a new record breaking all the time. Gone with the Wind, 1939. Cost to produce $4,250,000. Initial gross from first run, U.S. and Canada, $70 million. Now, gross is not net. I have some financial things around here. Personal financing, but there's some other things like gross is not net. Netting. So Superman netted $82 million. Now again, they use the numbers to highlight the best things. Superman's original budget was $50 million. Okay, so out of the initial budget, they would have made a netted 80%, no 60%. As you 50, to do the math real fast, and yeah, that's like 60% profit. Over how many years? Although Superman was the most popular films ever made, it was nominated for and won only one award from the Academy for its outstanding visual effects. I mean, the acting. See, that's the thing what we're dealing with now is that the boom, 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 like, it overshadows the individual actors. You don't know if you like them or not. Acting is kind of relative, right? It's like an opinion. Do you like the character or not like the character? Christopher Reeve received one of the highest salaries ever paid to an unknown actor for work in a major motion picture. He was paid $250,000 plus $25,000 a week. Whoa. So the year, because it took less than a year, I'm assuming that's for the yearly salary. $250,000. And then during the weeks that they're shooting, Well, I mean, most people know Superman backstory, but these are the movies. See, there's Superman the comics, Superman the movie franchise. It's no longer Christopher Reeves. It's that other guy. What's his name? Was it Henry Cavill? I forget his name. He's even more perfect. He has an even more hot body than. Shall we show this embarrassing picture? Okay, he's in pretty good shape. It's hard to get a gauge from the picture in there, black and white. Oh, he broke his neck and became a paraplegic. I remember the news, like the National Enquirer. He had a farm, like a horse, and he was just riding his horse and doing jumps, and he went over the reins, and it's like when Superman gets paralyzed, what hope is there for normal people? So these are the epics. Oh, I already got the Superman. And trying to stay on the DC Detective Comics versus Marvel's. It's not really versatile. Yeah, when you're fighting for box office seats, even if it's not a direct confrontation, it's still business is, oh my goodness. To make money and pay your bills, or make money and not pay your bills, or pay your bills and not make money, it's all good. I have no chatters. Say no chatters. This is when I go off these loose reins. What else is there to talk about? Do I have a comic book up here we can talk about? Oh, yes. I got this for $4. I think it was originally sold for $4. Yep. But 1994. In 1994, $4 would be like $8 today. We'll talk about inflation. It's like, see, look how little it was, man. Now the same stuff's like $12. Well, labor gets more expensive, paper gets more expensive. The less buyers you have, the more you need to charge for individual product. There's a whole lot of reasons why. Oh wait, no, it's $2.95 in the U.S. $4 and. Sorry, I get sidetracked, sidewinded. Oh wow. Okay, let me see. Two. What am I looking at? See on the cover here in Detectives, it says $2.95 US or $2.95 the way I interpret it, because it doesn't say cents, huh? I haven't seen a little cent symbol for a long time. So it's $2.95 US, 4 Canada, and 2 UK. So in 1994, 2 pounds UK equaled $2.95 US. So if I turn this into a 2.69. I would think that's pretty stable over time. Only 26 cents less. So let's see. Canada. Oh, Canada. 3.6. Oh. I can't tell if that's good or bad for the for the buying power of the pound. Is it still pound sterling? Well, I'm gonna leave that alone. Well, capitalists and financial people like talk about buying power of currencies, and not most people I know don't even have like. So number one, Elseworlds. Let me check out Elseworlds here. Elseworlds. Oh, we have a DC database. You bookmark. Are you organized enough? Do you organize your computer usage and have like filed bookmarks of your favorite websites? I used to have favorite websites because I just go to them all the time. And now it's just, oh my goodness, having a reliable source of internet information. See, I like the internet. It's when people can't tell you where they found it on the internet, or they can't reference it. And I'm like that also. Yeah, I read a thing on the internet. Most of the crazy stuff came from Jeff Rense. Most of the crazy stuff I talk about reading on the internet came from Jeff Rense. So like, even if I can't find it again, I'm like, Jeff told me. Jeff's hosting it. Jeff's the disseminator of misinformation. If you believe it's misinformation. Most of the stuff is just interesting. So, DC, I create a Phantom account. I was gonna post in fandom, and but apparently if you don't use it after 6 months to a year, a lot of times they're just, we gotta free this username up. Or just, why? How long can you hold an account for somebody who never signs in? So let's see. The fandom. Elseworlds. Elseworlds is a publication imprint for a group of comic books produced by DC Comics that take place outside of the company's canon. Huh. Okay. So it's like, because it's not canon, the Catwoman is like a werewolf thing. Look, see, they have the Catwoman as a... Well, I mean, it definitely looks like she's transformed on the picture, huh? Like a real Catwoman. Oh, and they can also have, like, Batman's in this. Batman's in this as a medieval thing. See, now this is the encyclopedia. Let me go to Catwoman. Let's see what the DC Encyclopedia says about Catwoman. Catwoman debuted in Batman Volume 1, Number 1, Spring 1940. The current version is Catwoman from Volume 4, Number 1, November 2011. Real name, Selina Kyle. Selina Kyle. The base, the East End, Gotham City. Height, 5 feet 7 inches. Weight, 128 pounds. Eyes, blue-green. Hair, black. Powers, abilities. Master cat burglar. Formidable fighter with expertise in boxing, acrobatics, and many martial arts disciplines. Weapons include cat-o'-nine-tails whip and gloves with diamond-tipped claws. Wears protective goggles. Allies, Killer Croc, Alice Tesla, Batman on occasion. Enemies, Joker's daughter. Joker has a daughter? How come nobody ever mentioned Joker having a daughter? We know he had his girlfriend named Harley. But a daughter? Alice Tesla, Batman. Oh, I'm rereading the allies. Enemies. The Joker's daughter. Bone. Black Mask. Dollhouse. Affiliations, Calabresi Crime Family, Justice League of America, Batman Incorporated. It says Catwoman is one of the greatest mysteries of Gotham City, often switching from hero to villain in a single night. Over the years, Selina Kyle has been a help to Batman as often as she's been a thorn in his side. A capable leader, intimidating fighter, and a savvy, street-smart cat burglar. Catwoman has gone from being one of Gotham City's many forgotten children to one of its most powerful figures. After a stint as one of Gotham City's major crime bosses, Catwoman has returned to the rooftops, once again an independent creature of the night, answerable to no one except herself. Selina Kyle started life at a distinct disadvantage. As a child, she bounced around from foster home to foster home, before finding a more permanent resident at Oliver's group home, run by the unscrupulous Miss Oliver. The kids at the home are forced to break into jewelry stores and homes, stealing priceless treasures for the strict Miss Oliver. Learning the ins and outs of thievery at Oliver's, Selina retained a rebellious streak, often hiding expensive items in her teddy bear to invest in her future. So Selina was a like orphan foster child who got I don't know. That's the thing about these foster children. Whenever you get one of these orphans committing crimes, like, okay, yeah, he wants to punish this orphan. Do you know who his parents are? Maybe he's just stealing from his parents. Can you rob from your parents? Yes. Can your parents rob from you? That's where the CPS and things get so caught up. Oh, what's this?
Break. It's like a zoo, but the animals got out.
This
This is like a good trailer. I probably won't remember this or where to find it.
Species. Predatory. We don't lock them down. It will be too late.
Oh, it says FX. So is this a series? Did we just watch a commercial for a series on the FX channel? It's hard to say. Huh? Let me expand that again and see if there's a link to. I guess it's really cool. Alien Earth. August 12th. Original series, August 12th. Hulu on Disney. I just don't know how it works. Like, I got the Hulu Disney package, and I only got Disney. Well, like the ESPN, anyway, the bundles and stuff. I just don't have time. Well, I have time. It's like, I don't know how you are in, like, streaming. Let's see, I've been streaming for an hour and 41 minutes, so that was enough time where I could have watched a movie on one of my streaming subscriptions, except I'm really not interested that much in watching anything when there's nobody to talk about or talk about it with. Like, why? Why am I sitting here when I could be exercising, I could be cleaning, I could be getting my financial life in order, or I could be doing a lot of things to survive. And instead I'm sitting here talking to my computer screen. Why is that? Oh yeah. Because of how, I guess this is make or break for people. Does it look like a cool series? Yeah. So is it going to be once a week? I don't care. Maybe this is like disclosure. Maybe they have like a bio lab. Maybe this is what's going on at the friggin' military bio labs that create these alien life forces, these things. This is all like high-end CCTV cameras, and they're trying to get us mentally prepared so we don't freak out, right? Oh my goodness. Talk about network TV shows. Or that's not even a network. Yeah, it's a network technically. Not the type of when people are like network. ABC, NBC, CBS. That's a network also. Because this one's the USA Network. And one of my fascinations, one of the fascinations where, I had a woman in her 80s. She was so fascinating. I picked up some old magazines from like the 40s. She was like, it was like people see their childhood. Sometimes like, I'm holding somebody's childhood in my hands. Because there are a lot of guys, weird science. I think we saw this in the movie theater about nerds who build their own girlfriends. Because when real girls won't talk to you, just invent one. They don't teach it in school. Oh, premieres March 5th. So what month was this released? Oh yeah. In 1876, Alexander Graham Bell created the telephone. In 1879, Thomas Edison created the light bulb. In 1895, Sigmund Freud created modern psychiatry. In 1994, Gary and Wyatt created a woman who would do anything they wanted. Who do you think was smarter? There's a theme song, Weird Science. It played on the radio a lot. Oh my goodness. So let me go through here and see what other advertisements. And surprisingly, this one doesn't have a lot of the stuff that the other ones did, the mail order. Oh my goodness. Coming in March. Now this is interesting because it's a comic book. They're advertising a comic book, but they're using like a person. The Ray. Coming in March. Wait. It all makes sense. These are just vanity projects. I mean, I think how hard it is for Catwoman to date. Hmm. Ooh, Tops. Own Tops and you own a whole lot more than a card. All the players you want. All the stats that matter. Dramatic cards with high gloss UV coating front and back. And pictures that tell the whole story. Oh my goodness, Dan Marley. Oh my goodness, this is when this is when people knew who Dan Marley was. Oh my goodness, to have a how long? Well, his career, he might have been a guy who lasted 10 years. Dan Marley, wow. So not only should you collect comic books, well, I guess there's a breakup between the comic book and the in the other community. Mm. Are you ready to play the ultimate game of chicken? Mindscape. See, these are the history. If we're good, so many people talk about these companies and video games without like a foundational knowledge of where these video games came from. How short lived. Like to create a company for one video game. Do you and your friends have a good idea? How many video games? If you had like a few friends, you wanted to like make a video game together. How many could you make at one time? So this Alfred the Chicken for Super Nintendo. For an Alfred message, call 1-800. They have look, this is a nice little promotional thing. Alfred Chicken is the hottest new game to hit your video game system. Get ready for non-stop excitement with Alfred Chicken, the hero of the 90s. You'll face uncertain danger as you guide Alfred along his menacing journey to rescue his kidnapped egg buddies from the evil mecha chickens and thwart their plot for world domination. Fight your way through some of the most bizarre worlds imaginable. Make mincemeat out of mecha chickens and dodge their deadly traps. You've played those other heroes. Now try something with some real challenge. If you're looking for non-stop excitement and thrills aplenty, look no further, because Alfred Chicken is here. A hero for the 90s electronic games, available for NES, SNES, and Game Boy. Mindscape from the Softwork Toolworks. Twilight. So many partnership collabs, but yet this is real business. The learning curve of how to do business. Apparently, it is quite. Wait, oh, there's no fair. What do you mean? You just made yourself a new company? Yep. Yeah, I made myself a new company to take care of the debts of the old one. And, well, keep moving around, Alfred. Like a chicken with its head cut off. See, even without a head, that chicken just keeps on going. I'm looking for on YouTube before I end this stream. Yeah. 2 hours. I got about 4 hours or so. I'm going to a special dinner tonight. Being more not so much isolated and aloof. You know, people are quite correct when they say like introverts and yet it's it is, what is it? Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks pointed out the American tradition of finding an isolated loner. Like an isolated loner that can be like in the newspaper. Yeah, I believe it. When an isolated loner, it's like, of course he's crazy. And only crazy people commit those kind of crimes. Oh, Alfred Chicken PlayStation 1. I want to see Alfred Chicken Super Nintendo. And then we'll check it by PlayStation 1. Oh, let's see. We'll share it with you so we can have some. Alfred Chicken. Gameplay. Oh, that's the SNES. Alfred Chicken. I guess NES is a Super Nintendo system or something. We'll check this one out. Is that Craig? Oh yeah, it is side scroller. So that's Craig. Let's see. Oh, I want to wait. I want to see it again. Mindscape. So it comes out Mindscape. Alfred Chicken is a registered trademark of Twilight. Copyright 1993 Twilight. Published by Mindscape and licensed by Nintendo. So I guess these video games, they come to the company and say, "This is our company. Would you like to license this video game to play in your thing?" And once the license expires, like exclusivity. Well, there used to be a thing. I think it was a Martha Stewart. Fans of Martha Stewart could only go to Kmart to get their Martha Stewart brand or whatever she had on the show. It's called exclusivity. And now with so much stuff on Amazon, having that choice, what was it? See, Sears used to have a line of, was it Craftsman? You could only buy Craftsman tools at Sears. Huh. It takes a person of a certain age to know what I'm talking about. So I'm just more curious of, so the parent is a trademark of Twilight. It says published by, so how Twilight and Mindscape work. And then there's no mention of the software Toolworks, which is in the advertisement, the physical advertisement. Okay, so this is like play the game, use password. Stage 1. Alfred Chicken. Good graphics for, oh my goodness. Fun. This is a fun little thing. It's kind of formulaic. There are other video games that use this type of puzzle solving. Oh. See, now one other thing. Okay, nice little, you just go around getting points. Yeah, that's very reminiscent of Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, this is a lot of Super Mario Brother aesthetics. How you bump up, make the invisible block, and jump over the things. Now, of course, there are probably other games. This is very familiar. It's like this. Okay, that's enough of the Alfred Chicken. Yeah, I've seen other games very, very similar. It looks fun. You know, if this is your first video game, it's probably like really amazing. It's nice to go back in time, just a little bit. See, going back in time mentally. Ooh, warehouse sale. Oh, they're having a warehouse sale, limited time offer. Order $20 and $49.99, get a 20% discount. $50 and $99.99, get a 30% discount. $100 or more, get a 40% discount. Oh, you can get for $1 each or 10 for $7.50. Oh, Well, I suppose 1994 was there an economic? Well, we had a recession in '92. Oh, before that, actually, the '89. I guess there was a stock market thing. '89. My dad was more affected and angry by the economy than I was at this age. This age, I was 18 years old to start the year. And I was not a comic book. I was not into comic books like this. I had a collection of Plop and Unexplained Mysteries. There's a lot of comic books. So, what do they have in the dollars? What are they trying to sell for $1? ADV Superman. Advanced Superman? It's like 500, 505. Alpha Flight. 121, 125, 127, 128. Are those the issues? Archer and Armstrong. Avenger. I'm going to leave off the numbers. What I don't know what the numbers mean necessarily. I'm assuming which volumes. Avenger. Arcadia. Avengers West Coast. Batman. Blood Syndicate. Brigade 2. Kane. Cage. Cyberspace. Darkhawk. Dark Horse Comics. Oh. So as a short lived, this includes details about comics from a Dark Horse comic series that featured Alien, Predator, or AVP. Okay, AVP. Yeah, I'm looking through this again. Oh, I have seen Alien. See, they do have a character named Alien. Well, there's a Dark Horse podcast. It's like a band name. Have you ever heard about copyrights over band names? Where like local garage people, they just make a band name. They put up like posters, and then they would go try to register. They'd try to register the bit more popular they get because they could be a band name in one city, and then when they go to like get their name copyrighted for an album, they're like, there's already a band with that name. What? Yeah, somebody else is already using the band named. Alien. Mm-hmm. Brief history, Silver Age, Bronze Age. Wait. How come there? Wait, I know there's an. I know I saw something named Alien. It starts right off in Argus. I could be like, people ask, "Are you on drugs?" Yeah, most time I am. Oh, brief history of the DC Comics universe: Golden Age, Action Comics #1, Detective Comics Comics number 27, All Star Comics #3. Why wouldn't it be Detective Comics? Oh, the DC Comics universe, DCU, with its multitude of characters, stories, and events, may seem a little daunting to new readers and fans alike. To aid travelers on their journey through this universe, this timeline highlights the major turning points in DC Comics' long and dynamic history, from birth to rebirth. Well, let's go back to the. There's a lot. I mean, would you like to see this? Would you like to see the list of comic books just sitting in a warehouse waiting for somebody to buy them? Yeah, that's a comic gift bags. You can go get a bag full of comics for $7. This is Madman comics. My comic shop. My comic shop. That's the thing. There's just an overwhelming. If you have trying to sell a warehouse versus of comic books. I mean, sometimes when the storage fee, the storage, and the money that we spending on a warehouse full of comics and nobody's buying. How do you move product like that? That's why it's so tempting. It's so tempting for insurance fraud. Can we find a person who chose not to burn their comic book collection because they couldn't sell it? Somebody who chose not to file insurance claims because do you love them or not love them? That is the question. And I've reached the 2 hour point. So I feel accomplished. And now I'm going to go clean. Top of the hour. And I will talk to you later.